I'm sure. Nobody noticed my shoes. Hey there. Okay. We've seen three really consistent games, kind of in their style of play and how things have gone, and that they've all been, kind of statistically kind of come out the same, where we've done really well on offense and we've played enough on defense to win the football games. And we see, a start to the season now that's taken some shape. We'll wrap up the first quarter of the season with this game this weekend and kind of make an assessment of where we're going, how we're doing. Really excited about what's going on with the throwing game with Russell and the receivers and how they're hooking up and just all of the touchdown passes. That's just such a crazy number to be thrown out there in 3 weeks' time. Who'd have known? But it's a great start for us there. Defensively, this game we came out and took the ball off them, 3 times plus the safety, which is that's a big day. You get 3 turnovers in a game, you're gonna win, and so that plus the safety made for the kind of game that we needed to get the win. I thought this was a really good opportunity to come back to see Link again and see what it felt like and see how we could play through it. And it seems normal to be in these environments now without the fans. That was not even an issue at all. We miss them desperately, and it would be a total different factor for our opponent, and it would be a real positive for us as well. But we're getting to understand it, and so I'm looking forward to going on the road here again, and it's going to be another kind of like situation to Atlanta, and we're going to hopefully make the best of this, make a really good couple-day trip, and see if we can put together another win.
Corbin.
Hey, Pete, Shaquem Griffin played a really prominent role that last drive, really disruptive tackle for loss, pass defense to quarterback hit. Given the struggle the defense has had at times these first 3 weeks, what more does he have to do to get more opportunities? Does it boil down to him being too limited in the situations he can play, or just too many bodies in front of him?
No, he got a chance to play, and he did great this week. And there's no storylines here. This other than young guy got a chance to get back out there, and he did great. He was hauling butt all over the field. We played him in a unique situation that he really handled well. He did a nice job rushing the passer in his other ops that he had. So I'm looking forward to him to continue to contribute. I was really fired up about his play.
Bob.
Yeah, Pete, on the tackle on
Bob, did you bark at us right there? It sounded like you.
I haven't talked to anybody all day long, so it was the first time I've spoken out loud.
That was awesome.
I was just going to say, the tackle on Chris Carson that injured him, you said on your radio show you were pissed about it. Is that something that you informed the league about, or how does that work from your guys' end, if you want to?
No. The answer is no. I haven't done anything.
Okay. Do you hope something would get done, or?
Nah, not necessarily. I'm not into all that stuff. I don't know what happens.
Curtis.
Hey, Pete, what's kind of the outlook injury-wise for you guys coming out of the game? Are any of them too significantly serious? Jamal and Chris, obviously, they're at the top of the list for you.
The initial reports we have back from the MRIs and the tests and all that is that none of the guys that got banged up seriously, where it's going to take a long time. We're going to have to go through the week and see how it goes, but no surgeries or any of that kind of stuff are upcoming at this point. So we might have dodged the bullet a little bit in that. But I can't, I can take you through it, but it's going to be get back on Wednesday, see where guys are, see what they can handle. I think. Jamal's going to have a hard time with the groin strain. That's going to be hard for him. We'll see if he'll be able to make it back. Chris looked really good this morning. Posick looked really good this morning. We'll find out from Damian. Damian, did better. He's got a chance. So it's just going to take us all week long to figure it out. And but we're really pleased that the reports that came back, there was nothing serious. That's going to be like guys are out for a long time, and you have to think about IR on them and stuff like that. That did not happen.
Tim.
Pete, before he got hurt, how did you feel Jordan played, and who's
the likely candidate to step in if he's not able to go this week?
He really didn't have enough opportunities to do a whole lot. He played real hard and tough. He just didn't get clear on anything. Got toppled on a pass rush and got his knee banged. And he came back out and played a good bit after that, which just showed his toughness. But he didn't get much of a chance to do stuff. Cody Barton is the next guy up. For us, if Jordan can't go, it's going to be for Jordan. It's not a serious injury, but yet we just have to wait and see if he has a chance to get back at the end of the week. If he doesn't, and while he's out, Cody will jump up.
And would Cody jump in at Sam, and you'd put KJ back at Will in that situation?
We have a choice there, so we'll let you see as the week unfolds. I can't tell you that yet.
Ben?
Hey, Pete, what about DK Metcalf's mentality, makeup, allows him to bounce back from big mistakes and come through for you guys? He obviously did it yesterday, but there have been other times where he's had a costly fumble or a drop, and then he's just come back with a touchdown or made a big play. What about him do you think allows him to do that, come through?
He's so dedicated to being on it and being great that in battling and all. I just don't see him sinking, and have a long lapse at all. He's just so determined to be at his best. It was a great opportunity for him to get back out of that, the play that happened, because that's a really bad play for us. I mean, when we give the ball up and we're going in for a touchdown, because we didn't finish it right. That's a lousy play. He knows it, and we all know. Well, hopefully, everybody learns it. We've been preaching to finish these plays for a long time, and every once in a while, a guy just gets lax and they take a shot away from you. But he didn't have any problem coming right back immediately to focus, and obviously made a great effort on the game-winning touchdown from Russ. That was all about effort and explosion. He just took off to cross the field and look for the opportunity, and fortunately Russ found him and all that. But he's a great competitor. I don't think it's going to hold him down at any time. I think he's going to bounce right back because he really believes in himself and he has great confidence.
Thanks.
John Boyle?
Yeah, Pete, obviously we see the big games Russ is having and all his pass catchers, but what kind of year are Shoddy and the offensive coaching staff having in terms of scheming stuff up, plays that are getting guys open, all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I think you're seeing really a kind of a normal ascent, guys working together and staying together and pooling everybody's thoughts. I think Brian's calling a great game for us. He has all 3 weeks. He's had great games for us and great plans that comes from the staff and all the work that they do. They work really well together. They're working really well with Russ. Russ is involved, so he knows what's going on during the week, so he can help and understand stuff and make sense of it. It's just a really good collaboration right now that is really just kind of a logical, growing together that I think you hope happens. I think it's really helped Brian going upstairs. I think he's really comfortable with that and totally in command of all of the situations, and seems like he's just hitting on all cylinders, and the communication to Russ is really what's crucial, and he can talk right to Russ over the headsets anyway, so it's working out great.
Masvida?
Hey, Pete, just wondering about LJ Collier and how he's progressing and kind of, coming along on that defensive line.
Yeah, I'm really fired up about LJ. He's doing great. He's been really active in every game. Really could be, with 3 sacks or something already. Has been a factor in some crucial situations, which is great to see. I know he's really excited about it. He knows that he didn't get as much done in his first year as he wanted to, and now he's really rolling and really right in the midst, the midst of everything. And so that's a real positive. And you could see just the how much improved he is physically and mentally because of that, with a really good offseason. He really worked his tail off and got in great shape. I've been telling you that the whole time, that he showed that he was stronger and quicker and more explosive, as well as understanding, so much more from, freshman year to sophomore year. And so it's really pleasing. And I'm really excited for him because I think he's just getting going. I think he's got a lot of upside for us that he's going to show.
Thanks.
Art?
Pete, this morning you talked about how much the defenses league-wide seem to be ahead, or offenses seem to be ahead of the defenses league-wide. And at 25 points a game, if that held up for the season, that would be an all-time record. Is that just a early season deviation, or is this something happening that, as you said this morning, about people are just abandoning the need for balance?
Well, I really think that overall, just the lack of time working out on the field and missed in the offseason and all of that really seems to have affected the defense more so. I think also the lack of opportunity to play full speed football in camp, which is, it's a real benefit as you're, developing your game, and that being absent, there's a factor there, and so I think the offenses are taking advantage of it a little bit, and they've started faster. In our case, we have not balanced out run and pass as much as we kind of normally do, but it's because we've been so effective throwing the football, we've gone with it, and however, I think you're going to find in the long term of it that balanced football is really what is crucial to the success of this game, and in big time success and championship success, you've got to be able to do everything that's available to you to get through these games. So far the offenses have been quite out of balance in our games, that we're opposing, and it's hard to win that way. I think somebody had the stat where when people throw for 400 yards on us, I don't think they've ever beat us, and so it draws a lot of attention and a lot of focus, but it isn't necessarily winning football, and so we like to keep that going. If that's the way it goes, then we're okay. But we do need to catch up, though. We have not been nearly as effective on our end of it, and maybe other teams feel the same way about that. Dallas gave up some big plays, against us as well. So that kind of football is just, it can be fixed and can be adjusted, and we certainly have to get that done to do our part. But I think just in general, though, I think the offenses have just started much faster than the defenses, and I think it would attribute to the lack of time in camp.
Joe fan?
That's a total guess, by the way, Art. I'm just guessing on that one.
Pete, what was it that kept Shaquem from getting one of those spots out of camp? And then was there anything you saw yesterday from him that you were hoping to see, maybe beyond just the speed and the pass rush ability in this play, as a linebacker?
Yeah, number 1 draft pick coming in, that affects it some. Jordan Brooks is a really good ball player, and we love everything he's done. But the great thing about it, Griff has not let up for a second, and so when the opportunity was available, he jumped at it and did a great job, and thrilled about that for him. He looked really good, and he was run all over the place, all over the field. And if we can keep him available for those kinds of opportunities, he's going to continue to show like that. So I think really there was no big plan about it. Just that we added one guy, and he's a top pick, and that spot went that way. And so now with a couple opportunities, injuries and stuff like that, Griff is ready to go, and he jumped up, and I'm really excited to see him play again this weekend.
Greg?
Pete, what if any precautions or measures are you taking going to Miami? I'm imagining the hotel is not going to be quite as closed as Atlanta, and just all the lack of restrictions on the virus down there.
Holy cow, that can't happen. That just can't happen. We can't let that. I'm not thinking that way at all, Greg. We can't let the environment make us vulnerable. We can't let that happen. So. We'll do everything we can, every precaution possible. We really have figured it out so far. We've been home twice now, so we've had 3 hotel visits on the weekends, and we've survived all of those with good negative tests coming out of them. Hopefully we can crank it out again this week. But just because it's Miami doesn't mean make any difference to me at all. We're trying to steer clear of everybody that we can that isn't part of our bubble and our in our party, and make sure that we take all of the precautions and all of that. Really important. We have a lot of kids from Florida, and they'll have families that could be and could be around. And we have to really steer clear of all of that. And if we just stick to the rules are set up and they are guiding us well in terms of the protocol and all that. If we just do that really well again and be really disciplined, we'll crank out another week. But gosh, I don't want to. I'm not thinking that way. Other than we're doing everything we can think of to keep it right.
Well, I guess what I'm asking is you don't have to get with the hotel, for instance, that might be otherwise open and suddenly close it because you're there that weekend.
We're with the hotels. We're working with them. They know all of the expectations, and then we have to get there and carry it out and make sure everything's right. I mean, we're just a moving bubble, you know. This bubble's floating all the way to Miami here, and we got to figure it out. And when we get there, we got to, you know, just keep it as pristine as we can, so we can pull this off.
Mike Sean.
Hey, Pete, right now you have a team that's throwing it a lot, not running it as often, not really getting a lot of pressure with your front four, and giving up a lot of passing yards. It's not really a Pete Carroll team in any of those facets. How do you feel about that, even though you're 3-0?
You know, I never did think it was my team, so I really can't answer that question that way. But I think we, as always, we're trying to adapt and grow and do what's best with our guys. And I'm not giving up on the thought that we're not going to be knocking these yards in half here before long. But you know, the games are different. You know, we've been ahead, and the factor has been felt by our opponents in all three games. That's really seems similar. They felt the offense going. They felt that we're moving the ball pretty readily in the first half, and they're not sticking with it, you know, and staying with the running game, you know. So, you know, when you hold one of the best running backs that you could ever want to see to 20 yards rushing or whatever the heck it was, I don't know, he didn't have much, you know, 2 yards of carry or something. You know, that's a big accomplishment, and that sets the team in essence out of balance, and so, you know, that we just got to figure out how to do it. I don't think that there's any set formula other than believing in the game is most successfully played when you play with balance, and so we have to continue to pursue the running game to make sure that in the games when the wind's blowing and it's howling or whatever may be going on, you know, the football's, you know, soggy and all that. I don't think a football gets soggy, really. I don't know why I said that, but wet. You know, that we can run the football, you know, and well, I feel fine about it. You know, we're averaging, you know, 4.5 yards a carry or something like that. I don't know what it is, but it's good enough to know that we can run the football, and we just need to keep it going. And on the other side of it, if we can keep them out of balance, it's going to help us win. So.
One quick thing on Quentin. Did Quentin get hurt in practice, or did he get banged up in the game against the Patriots?
Yeah, he came out of the game really sore, and we did a couple things with him and treated him and trying to get him back, and he couldn't quite make it. I can't tell you about this week. I haven't talked to him yet, but I can't tell you about this week. But he's got kind of an ongoing sore knee that we've got to work with, and from that developed at least out of last week, and so we got to see what's happening.
Thanks.
Joe Fan.
Yeah, Pete, sorry, quick follow-up from the always competing department. You mentioned you're excited to watch Shaquem play again this weekend. Does that mean you anticipate him either being flexed up again or given an active roster spot?
Yes.
Thank you.
He earned it.
Jackie.
Hey, Coach, you kind of touched on it with the run defense, but just along the 61 yards for the Cowboys, what did you think of your run D?
Oh, it was really good. Yeah, it was really good. And, you know, probably, I don't know, it seemed like 20 yards or something the quarterback got too. So I just thought it was really solid. The play on the goal line coming off, you know, when we get the safety, it was just a great line of scrimmage. A number of tackles for losses. Just really good stuff. I think we're doing some nice things on the perimeter. We're better than we were against all of the things on the edge. You know, the fly plays and stuff out and around. We've improved there. It's helped us. But we got to get down. The big thing in the throwing game, guys, is we got to get the big plays out of it. We got to eliminate these big plays and let them throw the ball over our head is inexcusable. And we got to let that just drop by the wayside, and things will round back up in I think really short order.
Brady.
Hey, Pete, on one of their long touchdown passes, one of Dallas's long touchdown passes, I think it was one to Cedric Wilson. It looked like KJ Wright got matched up with him in the slot. Can you just tell us what you saw on that play?
Yeah, it's a zone where he has, you know, he's covering down the third receiver right there, but there's supposed to be other help around him. He's not supposed. It's not. We didn't put him in one-on-one coverage with him, man-to-man coverage. That was a zone that we busted in the zone. So, you know, it was a mistake that happened.
Okay, thanks.
Curtis?
Pete, how would you kind of view the play of your cornerbacks through 3 weeks just in general between Quentin and Shaq and Trey, and how they've kind of handled this onslaught here early in the season?
Well, we've had the first thing I'm frustrated by is we've had maybe 5 interceptions in our hands. Quentin had 3 in the first 2 games. I think Trey's had 2, and Shaq got 1. So they've been on the ball for some of the plays, but everything doesn't look right to me when we get the ball thrown over our head twice in the same game. That's not supposed to happen, and you don't remember seeing that very often against us. And it's really good execution on their part. Both balls were really well thrown and all, but we should be on both of them. So I'm never going to be satisfied until the deep ball is not part of the game.
Last question, Jackie.
Just curious what you thought of Ugo coming in the nickel spot.
Yeah, I thought Ugo played a fantastic game. He had a couple big plays downfield. He continues to just be really active. He seems like he's all over the field. The big play on the 2-point conversion, the big tackle he made. He's doing a nice job, and I'm really pleasantly pleased that the play of that spot hasn't fallen off at all with Marquise not being there. I'm really thrilled for Ugo because he's such a fun kid to put out there. He's got so much juice to him, and he's all the way back to his college days. He's got one of those guys that has like that golden horseshoe in his back pocket. Stuff just comes his way and he makes plays. He's been doing that in the 2 years he's been with us, and we'll continue to expect him to do that. So he's done a really nice job taking advantage of this opportunity.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay, see you guys.